Welcome to the Bomb Shelter. I'm your host this episode, Jay. I need a lot of Motrin, McDowell. And with me is my co-host, Kevin Scott Schwillen Schumm.
Okay, I wonder what you're gonna do for me this time.
I told him I couldn't remember who hosted last time, but I had names for us.
So you won.
So I won.
Now, should we have a couple of unofficial sponsors this episode?
Pretend sponsors.
Yes.
Yes, I am swilling A&W root beer.
Yes.
Which I don't think this is a 1919 vintage, but it's been made since 1919.
Wow.
Kevin, on the other hand, has classed up the joint. Please tell them what your beverage choice is.
Well, I decided that each episode, if possible, I'm going to try something new, or if I really like something, maybe the same thing. But this time I'm trying the Macallan Fine Oak.
Triple cask matured.
Yes, thank you. Scotch whiskey. And this is the 10-year-old whiskey, which is, I believe, their cheapest, lowest level one, but still expensive in Kevin world. So I wanted to try some scotch, and I thought, well, I don't want to try in a plastic bottle, bottom of the shelf one, because I want to give it a chance, but I also don't want to spend $100 and realize I wasted my money. So
true.
We're unofficially sponsored by them as well.
So I'm drinking root beer out of a plastic bottle. Kevin has his little water glass with the little bit of
a tiny bit of
obligatory alcohol in it. So Kevin might kind of lose it later.
Yeah.
Might be dancing on the table. I don't know.
Probably. More likely I'm going to slur my words like I already am. And also,
you haven't even finished the first glass.
Laugh too much. I've taken 2 sips.
I'm so wasted.
So what is our topic this time?
Well, we decided, since we are recording a couple days after Thanksgiving, that one of the great things about Thanksgiving is you get the leftovers.
Yeah.
And for a lot of people, those are comfort foods. Like some people, the stuffing, some people, if you make macaroni and cheese or something like that. But those leftovers are kind of comfort foods.
Yeah.
So we thought we would do our favorite movie and TV comfort foods.
Yeah.
And we're doing this in part because Kevin was on Gilligan's Island for a few days,
Yep.
and I just hiked a freaking mountain, and
Yep.
neither of us wanted to watch a movie.
We're too tired to actually watch a movie and then record. So we're like, let's just record.
So it's a win for you, listener.
Yes.
Because there's probably only one.
Yeah, you.
So since I thought up our nicknames this time, you can go first.
Okay.
I will let you go.
And these are going to be in no particular order for me, at least, because it's hard to say this is my most comforting comfort show.
Although I am saving my number one for number one.
You are? Okay.
Because it's a little out there.
I know which one my number one is, so I'll save that for number one. But all the rest of them is going to be
just wherever.
So
wherever the scotch leads you.
Yep. So I'll say at the beginning, I have 3 that are television shows and 2 that are actual movies.
Okay, shows but not particular episodes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Just the show in general. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with a TV show because I have 3 of those and only 2 of the other.
All right.
So my first one I'm going to say, which I'm so happy I thought of this one because it's absolutely perfect, is Pee-wee's Big Adventure, which...
Well, wait, that's not a movie. Or that's a movie.
Oh, that's a
movie. TV show.
Okay, well, I'm going to...
Dude, how much of that scotch do you drink?
So I'm going to start with a movie called Pee-wee's Big Adventure. And I saw that movie in the movie theater when I was however old I was in 1985, I think it was.
I think it was 85.
85. So I would have been 10, 11, 12. I would have been 12. The perfect age for Pee-wee's Big Adventure.
Perfect. Mm-hmm. It was aimed right at you.
I wanted a Pee-wee's bike afterwards. I seriously looked around for an older bike to have like that. Never found one. I thought he was great. I probably looked really weird liking Pee-wee so much. But it's a great... it's one of those movies I can watch anytime. If it came on TV, I would just drop what I was doing and start watching it.
Yeah.
If it was the last 10 minutes, I'd watch the last 10 minutes. If it was the first minute, I'd watch the whole thing. Yeah. Commercials and all. And
which is kind of our definition of comfort food, movies and TV. Even if you own it, it comes on TV and you watch it.
It's like leftovers. You could make stuffing any day of the year. Yeah. But it's kind of nice when it's leftovers and you
get that.
What do you want for lunch? A whole bunch of stuffing.
There you go.
Yep, that's all.
Yep. Yeah, that's it. Just a big bowl of stovetop.
Yeah. So Pee-wee's Big Adventure. I just think it's great. It's still hilarious. It's as hilarious now, maybe more than it was then. And I could probably watch Pee-wee's Big Adventure and then watch Pee-wee's Big Adventure right afterwards and still laugh I mean, I could probably watch it twice in a row.
Yeah.
I don't get tired of it.
When it came out, a mutual friend of ours, Patrick, and we
Yeah.
thought it looked like the dumbest thing ever. And we were 13, 14 when it came out. We thought it just looked so stupid because we were so mature.
Oh, yeah.
But his parents, where he had lived at the time, they didn't have cable because it didn't run out that far.
Yeah.
Apparently the cable was too short. I don't know. But his parents would rent movies for us when I would stay there. And they never asked us what we wanted to see. They just got movies.
Huh.
And they brought Pee-wee's Big Adventure home, and we're just like, oh, okay. Well, we'll watch it since you got it. But, we were really hoping for Citizen Kane or something.
As you sipped your scotch.
Yes, our Scotch lick milk. So we pop it in, and it was seriously one of the funniest things we'd ever seen in our lives. And we were like, we're so sorry we ever doubted you, Pee-wee.
Yep.
And it was just perfect. And it's perfect for 12 and 13, 14-year-olds because it's just dumb humor.
Yeah.
But it's not bathroom humor, which is nice.
Yeah.
Because, anymore, so much of that, it's like, fart jokes and poop jokes and stuff. And it's like, okay, well, that's kind of low hanging fruit. This was dumb enough humor, but it was smart enough.
Yep.
With all the lines and the comebacks and the weird non sequiturs
and things I didn't realize how funny they were till later on in life.
Yeah, there was some. It's like the movie that keeps on giving.
Yeah. So yeah, that's a perfect one for me. It's I have it on Blu-ray, I could pop it in probably almost any time, and like I said, I could probably watch it twice in a row and still think it was funny the entire thing. But if it came on TV as well, I would just whatever I was doing, I'd have to stop and start watching it right then. So that's my number 5 on the countdown.
Well, the first one I will go with, and anyone who knows me knows this. Star Wars, the original, not episode 1, not episode 4, not A New Hope. No, Star Wars,
just Star
as
Wars.
It was called.
When it was called Star Wars.
Yes, for us old people, that's what it's still called. I saw it when it came out. I was 5. Went to the theater. You talk about watching Pee-wee's Big Adventure multiple times in a row. This was back when you could drop kids off at a movie theater, 5-year-olds off at a movie theater, and leave them.
Yeah.
And my friend and I went and watched it. We thought it was the great. I don't remember anything about it beforehand. I don't remember being excited about it. I think our parents were just like, just get him out of our hair for a little bit.
That looks like something he'd like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so we watch it, and this was at a theater. It was in San Bernardino, the old Inland Cinema.
Yep.
And they had maybe 4 screening rooms.
Yeah.
And it was all inside. So we watched it. We come outside, or we come out into the lobby, go to the payphone. Kids, ask your parents. And asked our parents if we could watch it, and they said sure. So we just walked back into the theater, thinking that it was like Disneyland, where you pay once and you just keep watching movies all day as long as you don't leave the lobby. So I committed my first misdemeanor at 5.
Yeah.
But after that, it has just been a huge part of my life.
Yep.
And it's one of those movies, I can quote it. Nobody likes watching it. Maybe Kevin would be the only person who likes watching with me because I can verbatim quote it as the movie goes.
If Jay quoted something and it differs from what's on the screen, Jay's right and the movie's wrong.
Yeah, pretty much. It must be the special editions or something. So it just is. It's one of those movies that, and really almost any of them, probably except for the last 2.
Yeah.
But particularly Star Wars, I can just pop it in anytime when I just want something that I don't have to really pay attention because I know it forward and backward.
Yeah.
And it's just good.
Yeah. Now, I just want to make sure, you said Inland Cinema. That was the one that was in the Inland Center Mall, right?
No. Inland Cinema was by where Target is, where the blood bank is now.
It's now some sort of...
it's like Video 2000, or was. I think it's like a government building.
Okay. Now. I saw Empire there. I saw Star Wars in the Inland Center Mall.
Oh, okay.
And that's the first movie I remember seeing in a theater. I don't know if it was the first movie I saw in a theater, but it's the first one I remember.
Yeah, I think I saw Empire. I may have seen Empire at Inland Mall.
Okay.
Which for listeners, this is totally boring because unless you don't know from San Bernardino, you'd have no idea what we're talking about.
But it's a mall that was pretty neat when we were kids, and then as we got older, it became a mall where you get shot if you went there.
More Central City.
Oh, I'm sorry, you're right. I meant Central
Oh,
City.
you meant
Mall.
Central City.
Yeah,
Okay,
see,
yes.
I'm already forgetting.
Central
Yeah.
City was scary.
I saw it at Central City.
Oh, okay. No, Inland Center had the Pacific Theater in the parking lot.
That's right. Okay.
So I think I saw it there, but I can't remember off the top of my head.
Okay. Yeah, I saw it at Central City. I'm sorry. I got those mixed up.
Yeah, that is the one you were afraid
That's
to
the one where you get afraid to get shot.
You could be shot.
Yeah.
So,
but I think when I was a kid, it was probably fine.
it was.
Yeah.
It just gradually got worse.
Worse,
but,
yeah.
Hey, we're totally off topic.
Yeah, we are.
Imagine that.
Yeah.
So Star Wars.
Okay.
That was my number one.
Okay. Well, my next one on my countdown, I think this time I actually will do a TV show.
You promise?
I don't know. I'm going to try. I'm going to say, and this one is actually really recent. I recently bought the 70s series In Search Of,
Okay.
starring Leonard Nimoy as kind of the narrator host. I recently bought the entire series on DVD. Just as something fun to watch. It was really, really inexpensive, $10 or so.
Yeah, I think you showed it to me. You're like, here you go, the whole thing.
The whole thing, like six seasons. But I really loved it as a kid, but I haven't seen it since I was a kid. But it has become that for me, where if I don't know what to do, if I'm bored, or if I want to watch something but I can't figure out anything else, I just pop one in, because the episodes are 21 minutes and 30 seconds long, pretty much, on DVD with no commercials. So they're just perfect where you can sit down and watch one, and you can pick your topic. You can say like, oh, I want to learn about Bigfoot this time, or whatever.
Amelia Earhart.
Amelia Earhart, yeah. Who as a kid, for some reason, because the show kind of scared me in general,
It creeped me out.
She scared me. I was like,
she didn't, but the whole
that Amelia
story
Earhart
of
is
it.
so scary.
And that show scared me as a kid.
It did me too.
Because it was, and watching it now, because the weird music
And the stupid clothing that Leonard
Oh,
wears.
that's pretty scary. Yeah. But the film stock that it's on and stuff is non-video; it's on film, and everybody's got that kind of talking, and it creeped me out, and to this day it still creeps me out, but I do love it.
Yeah, it's really good, and it's just even when there's one episode that was on killer bees, which I'm not saying that's not interesting.
Oh, that scared me.
But that doesn't get to me like Bigfoot or Loch Ness Monster or some of the other aliens.
See, that one scared me more, because the Bigfoot one, it's like, okay, we have the Patterson Gimlin film.
Yeah,
that's it. And a bunch of people who say they've seen it. Killer bees, it's like, this is a killer bee.
There actually is a killer
They're coming.
Bee. We have one right here.
Yeah.
This is one right here.
But
but it's entertaining. Like sometimes I'll go through, because I've watched, I think I'm close to finishing every single episode, and I don't know if I watched every episode as a kid or not. Maybe not. But I'm going through the DVDs episode by episode to the end. I think I got 2 more left. But some of the ones that I'm thinking like, oh man, this one's going to be good. Nah, they're okay. And then some of the ones that I'm like, I got to watch all of them.
The Talking to Plants one.
Yeah. So, and then those end up being like the really entertaining ones. But the point is, every single episode is entertaining for one reason or another.
Yeah.
So it's a really good show, and you just watch it, and you watch 1, you watch 2, you watch 3, and then you're done, or you watch 10 and then you're done.
Yeah. I remember the one episode that scared me was the Amityville Horror one.
Oh yeah, that one's scary.
Because my sister had a doll that looked like the doll that the little girl had, and they showed, if I remember correctly, they talk about how the girl would be singing, like Jesus Loves Me outside, and then she'd go in the room and stop, and she'd come back out and she'd pick up immediately.
Yeah.
And they showed the doll that was, I guess, supposed to be Jody, or Jody was supposed to be inhabiting it, and it like opened its eyes and they were red or something.
Yep.
And my sister had that same stupid doll, and I hated that doll.
It's really scary how they do it in that episode, because I think a mom comes in to check on the daughter, and it's dark, it's at night.
Yeah.
Her daughter's asleep. She comes in to check on her daughter, and then walks out and closes the door. And when the door closes, there's no light. When the mom opens the door to check on the daughter, there's a little bit of light.
Yeah.
She closes the door, and you see the doll sitting there when the door's open.
Yeah.
And then she closes the door, and then you know where the doll is, and all of a sudden you see these 2 red
Oh,
lights.
it's that. Oh,
Yeah.
man.
So it's really creepy. That episode is really creepy.
And side note, I only recently watched Amityville Horror.
Yeah,
like
the actual
this
movie.
past year.
Yeah.
And because as a kid, it just, the whole anything about it scared me more than Bigfoot.
You
probably.
knew you wanted to avoid that topic in general.
I hated when I would see houses with the windows,
the 2 windows,
and I just nope.
Yep.
So, good choice. Good
Nice.
choice. Thanks. Okay, well, I will continue the theme, except not as terrifying. This is kind of a genre more than an actual movie or show. It is 70s TV. And right now we have a glut of channels, retro channels that show old 70s, 60s, 70s, and 80s TV shows. No, well, now they're getting up to the 90s because apparently the 90s are oldies now. So, all you millennials, you're officially old now.
Yep.
But mainly, I mean, there were shows that I watched as a kid, that we all did. But then there were some that we watched because somebody made us watch them.
Yeah.
My brother loved All in the Family.
Yeah.
And I never understood it because it was, topical humor.
Yeah.
And a lot of people screaming at each other. I watch it now and it's like, oh yeah, okay, I get it now.
You get it, yeah.
And I get where it was supposed to, where it was coming from. You were supposed to kind of root for Archie, but you knew he was a bit of a jerk.
Yeah.
But they made him kind of lovable. But
Yeah.
And MASH, I never fully understood it.
Same for me.
But my brother watched it all the time, and he would make me watch it because he controlled the TV.
Yeah.
I remember I was watching cartoons one day, and what do you call it? Sanford and Son. It must have been already in syndication.
Yeah.
And it came on at the same time. And I'm like, well, I want to watch cartoons because we had one TV. This is back when he had one TV and 3 channels.
Yeah.
And he goes, oh, well, in this one, he gets a toothache, and he puts on, like in the Bugs Bunny cartoons, for toothache, they'd put the bandana on their head.
Yeah.
And he goes and he does that, and he looks like Bugs Bunny. I'm like, okay.
All right,
and we
that
watch
sounds
it,
great.
and then, I'm like 4, and I realize, oh, you're an idiot.
Yeah.
He did look like it, but
I have the same memory with that. It's when it would come on and I hear the music. As a kid, it was just like, oh no.
Yeah.
It was like depressing. Like this is not something I want to watch.
yeah. Yeah, but then there were some shows that we did, like Diff'rent Strokes.
Yeah.
To this day, I still love Diff'rent Strokes.
Yep.
And even if we want to go into the 80s a little bit, some of the shows, because Diff'rent Strokes went into the 80s.
Yeah.
And then they had a lot of, like spin-offs and
Yep.
stuff. Like Silver Spoons was a spin-off and things.
Yeah.
So some of those are fun to watch. Not as much.
Yeah.
Although I used to watch Silver Spoons all the time. Again, with Patrick.
Yeah.
Go figure. But there were just some of those shows that you did watch. Dukes of Hazzard and
Chips were the two for me.
Yeah, and Chips, I never liked Eric Estrada because he just bugged me.
Yeah, me too.
Being the ladies' man.
I was on Team John.
Yeah, I was too.
Yeah.
And when another friend and we would play Chips.
You got to be John?
I was always John because my friend was Hispanic, so he could be John. But and another show though that is on one of the retro channels, and I never watched it as a kid because it was on too late, was the Johnny Carson show.
Oh yeah.
And it's fun to watch because first off, he was really good as a host.
Yeah.
I mean, Jimmy Kimmel and Jimmy Fallon and stuff, they're good.
Yeah.
They're fine. But the celebrities that he had on, they were fun, and they weren't always trying to sell a movie.
Yeah.
He'd just have Dom DeLuise on because
Not
Dom
because-
DeLuise is a friend of his.
Not because he had something coming out next week, but yeah.
And sometimes they did.
Yeah.
But, there were, Charles Nelson Riley is one of my favorites on there because he's hysterical. And it's funny to watch because they show like from the early 70s, and you can tell about the time that it is, the era, because the ties. They get like really super fat.
Yeah.
And the collars are big butterfly collars,
Yeah.
and then they get skinny and everything.
Yeah, you watch fashion happen.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
And it's not always pretty.
Yeah.
But it's just one of those things that, again, I remember as a kid, I would try to stay up like on a Friday night or something.
Yeah.
I never could make it. And so watching them now, it's like, oh, okay. And the celebrities were fun, and they knew what they were. They were just, I'm a celebrity. My opinion doesn't matter. Not like nowadays where it's like, I'm a celebrity. Listen to me.
My opinion is the most important one in the world because I'm in a famous movie right now.
Yeah. And you should listen to me.
Yeah.
So 70s TV in general, those things in particular.
That's a good one. Okay. My next one on the countdown, I think I'll take this one next. This is also going to be a movie. Okay. And I know, Jay, you have not seen this one.
Okay.
But someday I won't make you watch this one, but I'll make you watch one by this director. One of my favorite directors is the Italian horror director, suspense director, Dario Argento. And he has a several kind of famous movies, at least in the horror world, like Suspiria. But one that's not quite as famous is, hey, it's my cat.
There's our
I'm not sure what she's doing.
She's talking about her favorite movie. Apparently,
She's just being silly.
The Cat from Outer Space.
All right.
We don't know.
We don't know, but I'm going to keep talking, and you might hear her in the background for a minute. But yeah, the one that's not quite as famous, I do own it. It's hard for me. It's called Inferno.
Okay.
It came out after Suspiria. It's sort of a non-official sequel in a way, but I can't say I like it, but I also can't say I don't like it. But what I can say is that when I don't know what I want to watch, I always pop that in. And as I'm watching, I'm thinking,
why did
I don't really like this movie, but then I can't turn it off.
What is wrong with me?
And I watch it all the way to the end.
Yeah.
And it's a mystery to me. I don't understand it. And I've been doing this for years. I've probably seen Inferno more than any of his other movies. And I think I own about 10 of them on Blu-ray at this point. And I probably have watched Inferno more than all the others, and it's probably my least favorite of all the ones that I have. Like if I had to rank them on a
now
paper.
Least favorite in that, well, it just doesn't. It's not my favorite movie, or least favorite. And I hate this movie. It's awful, but I keep watching it.
Like I think this is how I'd say it. Like if you said, "What's the Dario Argento movie I should watch?" That wouldn't even come to my mind at all.
You would not hand me
I would
Inferno
never
and
say.
say,
In
"Watch
fact, I would
this."
say, "Don't watch Inferno," because I don't want you to not like Dario Argento.
So that would put me on the wrong foot.
Yeah.
Right out the door, Dario Argento.
And even, honestly, if you said, give me 10 Dario Argento movies to watch, I would probably name 9, and then I'd say and if you have extra time, then watch Inferno, but it's not, and I'd probably say, but it's not really that good.
Yeah.
But there's something about it that I don't know how to explain it. It's a mystery to me. I've been trying to figure this out for years. I just always go to it.
We were talking about it earlier before we started recording. I'm kind of that way with the G.I. Joe live action movie.
Yeah.
In that, if they had named it anything other or made it the characters anything other than G.I. Joe, because I grew up with G.I. Joe,
Yeah.
it'd be just a dumb fun movie.
Yeah.
But since they put G.I. Joe on it and they butcher it, I hate it. But if it comes on, I don't own it. I'll draw a line at that. But if it would come on, I'll watch the stupid thing.
Yeah.
And I don't know why.
Yeah.
It's just like I hate the term hate watch.
Yeah.
But that's kind of what it is.
That makes sense.
And it's not even that I'm sitting there going, I hate this movie. I hate this movie. It's I'm watching it and going, this could have been so much better.
Yeah.
But it's crap.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I can't explain why we do that
sense.
to ourselves, but
yeah,
we do.
So yeah, that's sort of a weird one to me, but it is a comfort one. I mean, if you were to ask me right now, if after this podcast I had to watch a Dario Argento movie, I'm pretty sure I'd watch
pop
Inferno,
that in.
even though it's my least favorite of all the ones I own. So anyway,
Well, maybe it is your favorite.
maybe it really is, and I just don't realize
You
it.
just won't admit to it.
But I would never recommend someone to. If someone said, "Tell me which one to watch," I would never even mention it. I'd pretend like it didn't exist. It's mine.
I'm the only one who likes it.
Anyway, so there you go. Whatever it's worth, that's sort of a weird comfort one for me.
Okay. So
Yeah. I think this might be a good time because we're sort of halfway through. I've got
I'll be on my number 3. So
yeah, and I just did my number 3. So this would probably be the best spot to do our mid podcast break.
Okay.
So why don't we take a short break and we'll come back with 5 more.
Please enjoy whatever we put in here in the break.
Yep, like this.
Now the world don't move to the beat of just one drum. What might be right for you may not be right for some.
And we're back. Hope you enjoyed whatever is put in the break there.
Yeah,
I have no idea.
I don't either.
So it's just a mystery.
Someday I'm just going to do nothing.
Oh, that'd be interesting. Except the one person who does listen might go, "Oh, that's over,"
They cut out, yeah.
and then they just leave.
Yeah,
And
okay.
It's like they won't hear the rest of it.
All right.
So probably should at least do something.
I'll do the intermission music from Monty Python's Holy
There
Grail.
you go. Or you could do like the Beatles Revolution number 9.
Oh, yeah,
and you
yeah.
can just say like number 2,
Number
number
two.
2, number 2.
Yeah.
All right. So back to the topic at hand. Kevin's on his next glass of
My
scotch.
next scotch. This is more than I usually drink, so we'll see what happens.
We'll see how this goes, how much slurring happens. Okay, my third is another TV show, and it's on Netflix right now because the good Mr. Bob Ross passed away a long time ago.
Yep.
This is like, I probably should have done this second, but I didn't want to run because my number one is actually other TV show.
Yeah.
But this I can turn on anytime on Netflix, anytime it comes on TV, and you just watch it. And you just, nothing else happens. You just hear the little scritch, scritch, scritch of the brush, and you hear him talk about happy clouds and talk about Peapod, the squirrel that he raised. And, and then you watch this picture and you just watch this canvas, and then all of a sudden it looks like he just dusts off and there's this amazing picture underneath.
Yeah.
I think it was Leonardo da Vinci or Michelangelo. Somebody basically said that Michelangelo. Okay, it's like a chunk of marble is basically the statue is already in there. It's just waiting to have
he has to get it out of there. Right?
Yeah, the excess taken off, and that's what it seems like. Because he's like, okay, we've got our canvas here, and I've put a coat of very thin coat of liquid clear on here, and blah blah blah. And then he starts going, and it's just you just watch it, and I would love to be able to paint like that, but I don't even have any desire to do it. I just love watching it.
Yeah.
And it is perfect comfort food TV watching because he's nice, and it's the time we live in right now. Everybody hates each other. And everybody argues with everything and you just turn that on and it's just no.
And he's nice, not ironic. He's just doing what he does.
Yeah.
He's just a nice guy, and I mean, can anyone dislike him or find fault there? It's like Mr. Rogers almost.
Exactly. There's another good example. Yeah. And I mean, I don't know what he's like in real life.
Yeah.
But I know he's like on the show. Yeah. And I remember watching him way back when and thinking, wow, this guy is weird.
Yeah.
The giant fro and everything.
Yeah.
But I watch it now and it's just like, oh, we need more Bob Ross.
Is that on Netflix?
Yes,
I need to start watching it. I haven't seen it since whenever I used to watch it on TV.
Yeah, and it still comes on, I think, Sunday mornings on PBS.
Oh, okay.
On Channel 24, local. And, looks like...
She likes scotch, too.
Nathan wants some scotch. You don't need scotch, kitty.
No.
So, I don't know. It's just perfect. There's just no other way to describe it.
Yeah.
And...
that's a perfect one. I mean, imagine this. This is the day after Thanksgiving. Imagine just sitting down with some leftover turkey stuffing and mashed potatoes and watching Bob Ross. Is there anything better in life than that?
Now I want to go home and do that.
I know.
But we went somewhere and we didn't get leftovers.
Oh, that's true, yeah.
And so actually we went and we bought some of the makings. We bought some stuffing. We bought a little ham because we didn't need a giant turkey.
Yeah.
And then just a few, some rolls and stuff. So it's like leftovers, but it'll be fresh.
Yeah, that's nice.
But yeah, I think that's a good idea.
I had my only... Oh, the cat just scratched my face.
Ow.
Yeah. Oh, well.
Poor thing.
Okay. So Bob Ross.
So there you go. Bob Ross, my number tray.
All right. My number 2 on the countdown to 1. It was hard to go back and forth on this one, but the number 1 is just too obvious for me. So my number 2, or number 4, depending on which way you're counting.
Well, if you're counting backwards, number 2. If you're counting forwards, number 4.
That's true. Scotch.
So you were going to do your
Okay.
The scotch.
This would be the $6 Million Man, which was my favorite television show when I was a kid.
Okay.
For sure. If I had to pick, I mean, I like a lot of kids. I like lots of shows. But if I had to pick one, it was the $6 Million Man. And years ago, I bought the entire series on. I have it on. No, it's DVD, not Blu-ray.
Okay.
But anyway, it's just I don't know if I watched every single episode as a kid or not. I mean, as a kid, you don't always have the power to be there in front of the TV for every single episode because you're not in charge of your life.
Back then we didn't have the, on demand and stuff.
Yeah.
It was kind of like if you saw it, you saw it. If you didn't, well, maybe wait for a rerun.
Yeah. And especially as a kid, you just didn't, hey, it's time for this. Well, you got to go do this because you're a kid.
Yeah.
But, that's a show where the episodes, some of the episodes are, this is in quotes, good, and some of them are not so good, but kind of like In Search Of, they're all entertaining in their own way. So, some of them are really goofy and stupid, but then it's kind of funny to watch, watch Steve Austin play the guitar, and for some reason, because he's bionic, he's really good at guitar, which makes no sense.
Because it's only his right arm.
His right arm can move really fast, therefore he can play an instrument. That doesn't make sense. And maybe he was supposed to be good at guitar just in regular life beforehand, but there's no indication of that.
But really, that would just make him play faster.
Play faster, not better.
Because if his left hand can't, work
Do
the
the rest of
fretboard,
it,
then it's not going to sound any good.
Yeah, and being that I do play guitar, not so great, but I do know how to play guitar.
You're better than Steve Austin.
I am better than Steve Austin, even when he's using his bionics. Like the specific episode, for some reason, that's popping in my mind. It probably is the worst episode. Is where he plays guitar, and being that I do play guitar, I am better than Steve Austin, even with his bionics. So it was sort of weird. It's like, oh, he's so good at guitar, and like people are like, oh wow, but you're like, that's not really that good at guitar.
Yeah.
Anyway.
And is it like on TV shows where, other TV shows where people play and basically they just keep their hand in one place on the fretboard,
Sort of, yeah.
and then they kind of
move,
strum, but it's going, but their hands aren't moving anymore.
Yeah, it's good enough if you don't really know how to play the instrument, but if you're even kind of barely play guitar, you're like, that's not what that would sound like if you were doing that. So anyway, enough about the specific episode, but it's a good show to just throw on. There's always an episode I like, and like I said, even the dumbest guitar episode is still really fun to watch because it's really stupid and funny.
Yeah, it came on one of the retro channels.
Yeah.
And I started watching, and they started from like the first season.
Yeah.
Before they had the bionic sounds and stuff.
Oh,
so it was really awkward when he would lift something and there's no sound. You're like, what happened to the sound?
Yeah, where's the...
And then there was the brief time where he sported a giant mustache, which was frightening.
Yeah.
And promptly done away with.
Yeah, it was so unpopular with audiences that they took it away. They got
Which
rid
is
of
weird because like Burt Reynolds and stuff like that.
I know.
But that leads to one of we have a lot of things we have in common that we like and we can agree on. But this is one of our few arguments.
Oh yeah.
The fact that how does Steve Austin lift things with his arm when it's just his forearm?
Arm. Yeah.
And not rip out of his socket. How do his hips not break when he does the bionic running? How does his spine not collapse when he jumps?
Yeah.
And Kevin just is such a
just a fanboy.
Yeah, such a fanboy that he just
it's
just
Steve.
Steve
It's
Austin.
just Steve Austin.
He's awesome. Shut up.
Stop making fun of Steve.
I've ruined a lot of shows doing that.
Well, as a kid, that's true. As a kid, I didn't really think about it that much. Although I do remember later on thinking like, well, that's kind of weird. That doesn't really work scientifically or just logically. But the way I fix it in my brain to make me still be able to like it
is you just say, shut up, Jay.
Is I just say, shut up, Jay. Also, I say that maybe there is some, not additional, but while they were doing all this stuff, maybe they also fortified his structure, like his bones maybe are fortified. Yeah, maybe like a sort of a declawed Wolverine type situation.
Bionic Wolverine.
Oh wow, Bionic Wolverine.
That would be pretty scary.
Although Wolverine's pretty strong already, so I don't know if he needs
That's true.
bionics.
I don't know if he needs the extra. I don't know. For me, it doesn't ruin the show for me.
Yeah.
But it's just one of those things.
It's just always there.
I do that. And I didn't do it as a kid. As a kid, it was just like, oh, that's so cool.
Yeah.
But now, and I do it with other stuff. That's why I quit watching Walking Dead.
Yeah.
When I figured out that, once you figure out how to kill zombies, it's really easy to do away with them.
Yeah.
And you just get everybody together. The government wouldn't collapse. They would figure out, headshots and open caskets are a thing of the past. Mm-hmm. Because when somebody dies, you just headshot or behead them immediately. Mm-hmm. That's just part of calling it. And eventually they're just like cockroaches. Oh, there's a zombie in the barn. Go dispatch it.
Yeah, go get rid
boom,
of it.
done.
Yeah.
And you go about your business.
Yep.
And so I quit like probably the second season.
Yeah.
I just thought too hard because I enjoyed it and I liked zombie movies, and then I thought too hard and I was like,
And you ruined it for
I
yourself.
just ruined it, so I
Yeah.
don't want to watch it anymore.
Yeah. So that's one of mine. Yeah. $6 Million Man. I loved it as a kid. I still love it.
It was great. I
Yeah.
don't think I watched it as much as you did as a
Yeah.
kid. Because I don't know when it came on. I think my bedtime was like 8.
Yeah.
It was a special occasion when I could stay up and watch Donnie and Marie because
Yeah.
Luke Skywalker was on it or something.
Yeah.
So I don't think I watched as much, but I've watched more recently.
Yeah.
And it's good, goofy fun.
It's good, goofy fun. Yeah.
So it would fall under my 70s TV, I guess.
Yeah, that's true.
So, all right. So that was your numero 40.
4-0.
Okay. My numero 40, and I watched it just the other night, as a matter of fact, is Close Encounters of the Third Kind.
Oh, yeah.
As a kid, once again, you probably all can say this without me saying it, but scared me to death.
Yep.
I did not watch it until probably the mid-'80s, and even then I was apprehensive.
Yeah.
Aliens scared me more than Bigfoot, and Bigfoot scared me pretty bad.
Yeah.
But in certain, like some TV shows or some, I don't think it showed in the trailers, but in some shows and stuff, they would show the aliens.
Yeah.
And it scared me. And
They're still pretty scary.
they're kind of scary. I mean, when you realize they're little girls in outfits, okay. But the one that comes out, the big long-legged one,
Yeah.
I had gone to a cousin's birthday party, and they had it at this Bob Baker puppet studio. Apparently, they had made it, and they had it in the studio.
Wow.
And I did not want to be there. I didn't want to be there, in part because it was my cousin's birthday. But when I saw that, because they had it up in the rafters, and I was just like, I don't want to be here. And this was after I'd seen Close Encounters.
Okay. So you knew what it was.
Yeah, and I'm just like, no, I do not want to be here. But after I saw it, it's such a good movie.
Yeah.
And my favorite part is when he first sees the ship, when he's first contacted. And I'd recently listened to a podcast, and there's actually, they had police recordings from, well, this was more recent, but they had some even from Air Force bases and stuff of pilots going, we're seeing something, we're following something, we don't know what this is. But this one police one, it was like they were reenacting that scene because they go, we're getting calls from, and it's just the dispatcher recording.
Yeah.
But they're going, we're getting calls from people saying they're seeing this thing, that it's like 50 feet off the ground. We're going out, I don't see anything. And then another cop is like, I see something.
Yeah.
And they follow it all over. And then there's more recording from the next county over.
Yeah.
Where they see it. And it's fascinating to listen to.
Yeah.
But I just love that the rest of the movie's really good.
Yeah.
Although I feel bad for his family because he up and
Yeah.
leaves them, but I would have left them too because they were driving me nuts.
Yeah.
But just that scene and where they're chasing it and they're just like, what is this?
Yeah.
And you see the overhead, or I think it's not overhead, it's from the side. You see him driving and you see the ship.
Yeah.
And it's just silently, but it's dark.
It's dark. I love
and
that
it's
part.
cutting out all the stars, and you're just like, whoa,
And I love that take on it, because typically in a movie with a flying saucer alien craft is lit up and it's doing tricky maneuvers.
Yeah.
And this is so creepy, kind of, that it's this masked dark thing cutting out your view of the stars as it silently slides by.
One night, and I will.
Yeah.
This is my own little close encounter.
Okay.
It wasn't really. I was out back, and this is at my house now.
Yeah.
And a helicopter went over, but it was totally dark, totally blacked out, and it was kind of quiet. It wasn't total Airwolf,
but it was
silent mode.
Too quiet to be.
It was too quiet, but no lights, no running lights, no nothing. And I watched it, And I was just like, where? And it went north. It just went up. And I know we've got, the 29 Palms and stuff out.
Yeah.
But I couldn't make out what kind this was.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm assuming it was, an Apache or something like that. But,
Yeah.
Or not an Apache, but anyway, something like that. But it was weird, and it reminded me of that.
Yep.
Because you're just looking up, and you're like, I see this shape, but there's nothing.
Yeah.
There's nothing there.
I watched when Max was younger. My son's name is Max.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to. That was for them, not you.
Oh, okay. I thought
Sorry.
you were reminding me.
No.
That's okay.
I just realized some of it's the Scotch, but I'm like, yeah.
wait a
I'm
minute,
talking
you
about
already know
Max.
this.
I'm like, they don't know who Max. They barely know who I am. So anyway, Max is my son, and when he was younger, I wanted him to watch all the stuff that I liked. But sometimes you have to edit it for a kid, so I wanted him to see some of Close Encounters, the third kind, but not the really scary parts. So I thought, I'm just going to show him what the spaceships look like. And I showed him the dark part hovering over, and I also showed him the part where you just kind of see in the distance sort of like a spotlight comes down for a second and then goes away.
Yeah, I love that
I
scene.
love that too. So I let him watch that with me, and then afterwards, it was night, and I said, hey, let's go drive around, look for flying saucers. And he said, okay. And the best coincidence of all time, something had happened somewhere nearby, and there was a police helicopter with its spotlight down, and he thought it was the neatest thing. He had thought I had planned it or something.
Well, before I had seen it, the poster, it shows the road and the glow.
Yeah.
And we would be driving at night, and we'd see that. And I didn't get scared really, but I was like, what if that's them?
Yeah.
What
It's
if-
sort of an
what if-
excitement or something.
Yeah. So I don't know, but yeah, the scary parts in there. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I remember the old show, That's Hollywood. Tom Bosley.
Oh, yeah.
Narrated it, and they would show behind the scenes of stuff. And I always wanted the Star Wars ones because that was the best. But they would I think they showed scenes from Close Encounters.
Yeah.
And the scene where Barry opens the door and it's just red outside.
Yeah.
Freaked me out.
Yeah.
I
That whole sequence is great.
when he gets pulled through,
Yeah.
spoiler alert for a 40-year-old movie.
Yeah.
When he gets pulled through the doggy door and you're
I
just
know.
like,
Yeah.
I love the movie.
Now I want to watch that one now.
I mean, probably my least favorite part in it is where Richard Dreyfuss is building the model in the living room. 'Cause
This
it's kinda
means something.
Yeah. But the rest of it, it's just a great movie.
Yeah, it definitely is.
Absolutely love it.
Yeah.
So,
Good. That was a good one.
all right, your numero.
We're on our number one. So my number one, as much as I love all the other ones, my number one, and this is, like we said before, this is the day after Thanksgiving, right?
This is.
The day or 2 days after?
Oh, it is. I
This
think
is
I
the
said
day
a couple
after.
days. What's in that
Yeah.
root beer?
I don't know.
Did you
Scotch.
like it?
Yeah. But given that it's Thanksgiving, and I don't know if they still do this or not, but
I
when
couldn't
I was
find it yesterday.
Yeah, when I was a kid, the Twilight Zone was basically equaled things. If I was watching the Twilight Zone, that basically meant, oh, it's Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
The Twilight Zone marathon was on, and when I think of comfort, I think of hanging out with family, people I didn't get to see for a while. You get to eat really good food, and then
lots of it.
and lots of it, and then you get to kind of just hang out and sit around with your family and friends, and the Twilight Zone's on.
Yeah.
So for me, that's the ultimate. The Twilight Zone is the ultimate comfort show, and I think there's 1 or 2 episodes that I don't like a lot. All the rest of them I love or like a lot.
Don't like just because they just don't do much for you.
They just don't do much for me.
Okay,
Yeah,
so it's not an I hate this episode.
Yeah.
Of the show.
Yeah, I mean, I might if I were, when I got it, I have the whole series again, of course, like I have everything. But I watched all of them. But I remember there were a couple episodes as I went through that I don't really remember as a kid, and I remember thinking this is probably, that's why they didn't show this one very often because it's just not very good.
Yeah.
So there's a couple episodes that aren't very good, but in general, the worst episodes in quotes are way better than almost anything you'd ever see on TV.
So do you have one that stands out, or a few that stand out?
There's this one about a car dealership, and I really don't even remember exactly what happens.
Dealership.
I had never seen it as a kid. The first time I ever saw it is when I bought this series and went through season by season, and I honestly can't remember what happens in it because it's just I really really didn't like it. I don't remember what it's about, honestly.
Well, no. Okay. Well, what about one that's out that you liked?
Wait, what?
That you like?
Oh, one that I do like. Oh, Well, all of them. But my favorite episode is The Howling Man, which is one
that's a scary one.
Yeah, that's the one where there's this prisoner of these like
They're like monks.
There's these monks up in this sort of like old castle
in Bavaria kind of thing.
Yeah. And they got this guy prisoner. This guy comes, like, he's out in the wilderness, and he finally comes upon this castle, and he says, "Hey, please let me in. I'm starving. I'm cold. I just need some shelter."
And he's more of a modern type person.
He's more of a modern guy, so he thinks their way. It's like, oh, these old guys with their old religion and their old ways.
Yeah.
And he finds this prisoner they have, and they say, well, he's a criminal or something like that, and he's like, I don't know about this. These guys, they're a little bit crazy.
And he keeps telling them, the prisoner keeps telling them.
Yeah, he keeps saying, like, I'm not supposed to be in here. He has a personal vendetta against me and all this. And so he kind of sides with the
prisoner.
The prisoner. And then, should I spoil alert a 50-year-old?
It's only like 60 years old. So.
Anyway, the prisoner ends up actually being the literal devil.
Yeah.
And they've captured him, and that's why there's been apparently world peace for the last 20 years or something, because they've actually captured the devil in this cage.
And the Howling Man comes from, you hear the
Yeah.
guy who comes, the modern guy, he keeps hearing the howling
at night. Yeah.
And they're like, he's like, what is that? And they're like, no, just,
Yeah.
don't worry about it.
Yeah.
And then the part that always got me was the last part when he's walking out and he goes behind each pillar and he turns more and more into the devil.
Yeah. And that's just I just got chills because I love that episode.
It is a good episode.
It is. And then the very last thing is the narrator of the episode is the modern guy he's telling you his story.
He's hunting for him.
He hunts them afterward. He said, because of that, it's my job to hunt down the devil. And he's at the end, you don't see all this, but he basically says, I finally captured him and I've got him.
I forgot about that.
Yeah,
That's right.
It's so great because one thing when I'm probably going too far into this, we won't talk about it in any other episodes, but one part of it is when he finally goes to let the guy out of his prison when he's in the monastery. He finds there isn't really a lock. It's just like this staff that's been placed in front of the bars. And he's like, couldn't you just reach out and move this and then open the doors and get out? And I don't remember what the prisoner says, but he basically
he couldn't touch it or
he couldn't
move
touch it.
Yeah.
But the guy at that point is convinced that all the monks are crazy and this guy is just not supposed to be here.
Yeah.
But at the end, what he realizes is like that was the devil, and this thing has some sort of like magical or religious significance where the devil couldn't get out. So at the end, he's captured the devil again, and he's just in this room of this modern, in the 50s,
like an apartment or something. Yeah.
In this door, and he says, "I finally captured him. He's in here." And you see the little staff
in front of the door. Yeah,
and then he has to go do something, and then you see the maid. The maid.
Oh, that's right.
She hears something and she walks over towards the door, and I don't remember if she actually lifts it off or if the guy starts talking to her saying like, he's trapped me in here. You got to let me out.
Yeah.
But it's just like, okay, and the story repeats itself.
That kind of reminds me of the one of the old guy coming down the road with his dog.
Oh yeah, I love
and he
that
comes to heaven, quote unquote. And he's like, the guy's at the gate. And he's like, we've been waiting for you.
Yeah.
And he's okay. Well, and it's like, what happened? Well, you drowned. You and your dog drowned fishing.
Yeah.
And
this is heaven.
Yeah. And he goes, well, and the dog starts getting kind of edgy.
Yeah.
And he goes, well, we don't allow dogs here.
Yeah.
And he's basically like, well, then I'll just keep walking.
Any place that won't let my dog, I don't want to go there.
Yeah. And then he goes just a little bit further down the road, and they're like, welcome. We've been waiting for you. He's like, and they go, oh yeah, you and your dog, come on in. And he narrowly escaped.
Yeah. And he says, well, what about the other place? Or something like that. And they go, yeah, that wasn't heaven.
Yeah. And it's the fake heaven, the hell.
Yeah.
The guys, it looks really, it's still out on a country road.
It's the stereotypical heaven, though. Like the guy and the dressed up guy and everything. It's like spectacular.
And then when he gets down to heaven,
actual heaven,
it's kind of just a normal guy. It's just like, hey, we've been waiting
normal
for you.
Guy lets the dogs in.
Yeah.
Just
we love all God's creatures. Come on, and you're
Yes.
just like, yay.
That episode's so good.
But then there were so many that were scary.
I know.
Still, Terror at 35,000 feet
Yep.
and Eye of the Beholder.
Oh yeah,
the two,
both of those
I could not watch as a kid. And
Yep.
as a kid, we may have had remote controls later.
Yeah.
But when they first came on, none of us had remote
Oh
controls.
yeah, you'd have to actually get closer to the TV to make it stop.
And so when it would come on, you just pulled your legs up.
Yeah.
And you close your eyes and put your fingers in your
Yep.
ears. When they remade when they remade it for the Twilight Zone movie,
Yeah.
the Terror at 35,000 Feet,
Yeah.
that gremlin was terrifying. And
Yeah.
it was terrifying before.
Yeah.
But it was even more terrifying. And I was home alone, and we had HBO.
Yeah.
And they were doing a behind the scenes kind of thing on
Yeah.
it. And the chair I was sitting in we had these big bay windows.
Yeah.
And outside there was a table, and we had a dog who sometimes would hop up on the table and look in the window.
Yeah.
And we had shears.
Oh no.
And so I'm sitting there, and it's nighttime. I'm home alone, and this comes on, and I'm just like, I'm kind of morbidly curious, but I'm white knuckling it through
Yeah.
there. And then the dog jumps up and looks in the window, and I
Yep.
lifted out of the chair.
Yep.
I freaked. It just
Yeah. There's so many that are, like I said, I think almost every single episode is pretty good and a lot better than most of what you'd see on TV.
Yeah.
But some of them are terrifying. Some of them, like the dog in the heaven one, that one, like, it brings tears to my eyes every time. It's just so great.
Yeah,
And there's
yeah.
several like that too that do that to me.
There's
but,
some are just, good. Some are just
Yeah.
fun. Some are just goofy.
yeah.
And
And the science of the science fiction, whenever they do science fiction type episodes, it's always horrible science, but that's okay.
Yeah, but it was 50s.
that's what science fiction was like back then,
yeah,
and it's fun.
yeah. So it was fun. It was
Yeah,
great. And
really good.
We love the Twilight Zone.
That's my number one for sure.
Okay, my number one for comfort entertainment, and Bob Ross could have been number one of
Yeah.
this because he's on the same station.
Ah,
I do not know why. I cannot explain it. I have no excuse. Sunday mornings I'll get up. Saturday mornings sometimes too. And when the stations are coming in, the local PBS station has like 900 quilting shows.
wow.
And I don't know why, but I watch them.
This will be our last episode.
Sorry.
No, just kidding.
I don't know why it's fascinating. The people are weird.
Yeah.
They're like crazy, like SNL skit weird
Yeah,
PBS people.
I can see that.
And I don't know what it is though. I love watching people create things.
Yeah.
So that's part of
It's
it.
the same idea of as Bob Ross.
I think so. Yeah.
You're watching
somebody,
someone do something like that.
and it's something that I can't do. And
yeah.
I love quilts because they're nice and warm.
Yeah.
But some of it is just watching the weird ladies.
Yeah.
And they're like, there's one where it's just one woman and she talks like this all the time.
Oh,
and
man.
she's always got a smile.
I
on
need
her
to stop
face.
I need to start watching this.
You need to. They are awesome. And I'll turn it on and I'll find myself 3 hours later having watched 6
Yeah.
episodes of quilting shows.
You still don't know. You still couldn't make a quilt if your life depended on it. But
Could not. I can identify one in the lineup. That's as
Yeah.
far as it goes. But I can tell you how to, cut the
Yeah.
pieces and what they do, and it's
Wow.
fascinating, and I have no idea.
Wow, we didn't really completely share our lists with each other this time. I had no clue on that one.
I told him.
But now I want to.
said, you are going to be surprised by my
Yeah.
number one.
That's really well. Obviously, I have nothing to add to that one because I haven't seen it.
You don't
but-
watch quilting shows?
No, I don't.
But you have a quilt.
I will soon. Yeah, I do have a quilt. My cat's sitting on a quilt.
There
right
you
now.
go, right now. Yes,
But-
you simply must.
Yeah. Okay. I'll have to start watching that.
That's just bizarre.
Okay.
And I don't understand it completely.
Yeah.
Because like the painting shows, I'll watch other painting shows, and quite frankly, some of them are jerks.
Yeah.
And none of them, like the Bob Ross thing, he just always said, don't make my painting, make
Yeah.
your own.
Yeah.
I'm showing you how to do it. But if you want one tree, if you want no trees, if you want a forest,
Yeah.
do what you want. This is yours.
Yeah.
All the others are, now put the tree here.
Do this, yeah.
Now do this. Okay, the next week we're going to do this part. And it just doesn't
Yeah.
work, or they do it and it's like kind of ugly.
Yeah.
And it's kind of the same with these quilting shows. It's
Yeah.
just like, I don't know. I just, like I said, 3 hours later, and I'm like, oh, I've watched 9 quilting shows in
Yeah.
a row.
All right. I'm gonna try that out. I'm gonna try that, and we'll see if we have any more episodes of
The
bomb shelter.
The bomb shelter. On that note,
on that note.
so
I think we each had a couple
honorable mentions.
Honorable mentions. So let's
Yeah,
just go through this real quick. And I don't even really want to talk about mine, but just, or do you want to go first? Or I guess it's my turn.
Well, how many do you have?
I have 2.
I've got 3, so I guess I got to kind of go first.
You do one, I'll do
by
one.
numbers.
You do one. Yeah.
And these are movies that, again, they come on. We already own them,
Yeah.
more than likely. One of them I don't.
Yeah.
But they come on, and you just watch them regardless.
You watch it, even though you could go get it and watch the entire thing without commercials.
Yeah. My first one is Princess Bride.
Yeah.
It's fun. It's
Yeah.
a great movie, and the writer just passed away actually.
Yeah,
this
he
past
did.
week.
Yeah.
William Burroughs, I think it was.
William Goldman. Or
Goldman,
something?
yeah. Or Burroughs, a different one.
Yeah.
But it's a sweet movie.
Yeah.
And it's fun, and there's so many lines. There's so many quotable lines.
It's good from start to finish. So
Yeah.
no matter where you pick it up, it's like, oh, that's a good scene. And then, oh, that's a good scene.
Yeah, I mean, like I said in Close Encounters, it kind of drags when he's doing the thing in the living room. Nothing drags in this movie.
Yeah,
it goes, and it's fun.
Yeah.
And you feel good watching it.
Yeah.
So there you go. Does that make up for the quilting shows? I don't think so, but
No, it doesn't. My first one's going to be of my 2. It's going to be Jaws, and that's just, I think that's another movie where really the entire thing is just good. Whether it's, and again, it's a little bit dated now, and the shark doesn't look that real, but it's just a really good movie, really good lines, really good direction, and just
story.
Really good story, really good dialogue. I mean, there's
characters.
really good characters, yeah. And no matter where you pick it up, it's like, oh, this is a really good part, and you realize like that's because the whole thing is
Well,
a whole bunch of
I will say that the part with just the 3, with just Quint, Brody,
Yeah.
and Hooper.
Yeah.
Hooper, yeah. I was going to say Hooper, man. I'm like, no, that was a John Ritter show. That's my favorite part.
yeah.
Because you really, really get to see them, the 3 of them, shine doing their parts.
Totally different kinds of people stuck together on one.
Yeah, but there's not one that you go, oh, well, that's kind of the weakling. I mean, Brody's
Yeah.
supposed to kind of be the weakling, but he's not.
You like them all,
Yeah.
for their own reasons.
Yeah, and I mean, the rest of the movie's great.
Yeah, but that is the best part.
Yeah.
when they're all sitting there at the table and
Yeah,
Yeah.
comparing
that.
scars.
yeah,
It did, though. It's kind of like when we talked about Halloween, how Halloween started a bunch of tropes
yeah,
that no movies followed. They always grab the wrong stuff.
yeah,
And in this one, you've got the mayor
yeah,
who won't shut down the beach.
Yeah.
And most of the time in movies now, it's like, no, I'm the evil mayor
Yeah.
who won't shut down the beach because of the money. This guy, he's just misguided. And
Yeah.
he's just like, this is our bread and butter. We
yeah.
have to do it.
I gotta do my job as mayor. I gotta make sure the town's okay.
And so you kind of feel sorry for him, especially, and you feel really sorry for Brody when
Yeah.
Mrs. Kitterman.
Kitterman.
There was the man.
Yeah,
When she comes up and tells Brody about her son. And,
Yeah.
And why didn't you close the beach?
I
And
know.
he's taken the heat for
Yeah.
it when it was the mayor who
wasn't
was
his
like,
decision.
yeah. But it's there's that trope, and there's
Yeah.
several others, but it just
it's
all around
good
great
from start
movie.
to finish. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
So my number 2, in an attempt to still get the taste of the quilting shows out of our, is Commando. Schwarzenegger's Commando.
Yeah.
That we reviewed back a few months ago.
Yeah.
It's stupid.
Yeah.
It has lines in it that are great and quotable.
Yeah.
Dumb movie, but so much fun.
Yeah. It's just. I think the one word is fun. It's not. You can't necessarily say it's good. You can't say it's bad.
I don't even
It's
think
just
it's
fun.
trying to be anything other than what it is.
Yeah,
which
it's
is
just trying to be fun. And
yeah,
it is.
a lot of explosions, a lot of people dying. And, and I think I could even say Predator. I could change.
Yeah, they're kind of the same
exchange them.
idea.
Yeah, except Predator's a little bit better quality movie.
Yeah.
But Commando's just fun.
Yeah. Yeah. It's really good.
So yeah, that was a short one because we already reviewed that.
Yes. My final honorable mention would be Strange Brew.
Oh yes.
The Bob and Doug
Bob and Doug
McKenzie movie, and that one's just. We were talking a little bit about it beforehand. It's just really stupid.
It's insanely stupid.
It's insanely stupid, but for some reason, like, it's not so stupid that you get older and you're like, oh, I can't stand this anymore.
Yeah.
It's still funny every time, and I think it almost like Pee-wee's Big Adventure. I could probably kind of have it just on a loop, and I wouldn't really mind if it was
It's
playing in the other
one
room.
of the few movies based on a skit
Yeah.
that actually worked.
Yeah.
They actually created this whole story around, outside of of the Great White
one,
North,
yeah.
soundstage.
Yeah.
Kind of like Wayne's World.
Yeah.
They managed to make that
Yeah, it
work
actually
too.
was an okay movie.
And it was fun. I showed
Yeah.
it to my son when he was young.
Yeah.
And because it's a pretty innocuous movie.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
And he still loves it to this day.
Yeah.
And like we were talking, there's stuff for little kids where
Yeah.
it's just them being goofy, but then there's more adult stuff where you get it, and even to this day, it's like you said, it's just
really funny.
It's just fun.
And it's one you could have playing, and you could walk into the other room and get something and come back. You don't have to pause it. You've seen it a million times. You don't have to.
Yeah.
Oh, what happened there? So yeah, it's just another comfort one for me. It gives me good feelings.
Yeah.
When it's on.
My last honorable mention, I have to give a little caveat. I've only seen it once.
Okay.
I wanted to see it for years though.
Yeah.
And the stupid on demand would only show 2 and 3 and not 1.
Okay.
1 finally came on. Is The Expendables.
Oh, okay.
Came out a few years ago.
I've never seen that.
And it's with Schwarzenegger.
Yeah.
Well, kind of with Schwarzenegger, but it's mostly Stallone. Drawing a blank. So I want to say Jason Bateman. That's not the right Jason.
No.
Statham. Jet Li.
Yeah, all those action stars.
All these action stars, and some, a lot of them from the 80s and then from the 90s. And it's like Commando, except with a bigger budget.
Yeah.
It's just dumb, blow them up, shoot them up, lots of swearing.
Yeah.
But it's so much fun.
Okay, I'll have to see that.
It's really good, just at least worth a watch.
Yeah.
But it's comforting in that there's all these, the action heroes we grew up
All
with.
your old friends from when you were younger.
Yeah, and because we don't have those anymore in action
Yeah.
movies. We don't even have action movies.
Yeah.
Unless it's got The Rock in it, which
Yeah.
I like The Rock okay, but
Yeah. It's not the same.
it's not the same. It's not just big dumb muscle heads,
Yeah.
doing big dumb shoot 'em ups. And it's just it was the first Expendables was like Commando.
Yeah.
In fact, the story is almost
It's the same idea.
It's something's happening in a island nation. They got to go in and do
Yeah.
something. Hijinks ensue, but it's just fun.
Yeah.
And I love Jason Statham anyway,
Yeah.
or Statham in anything he's in. He
Yeah.
cracks me up. But he always plays the same person.
Yeah.
He just plays Jason Statham, though, every movie. But it was great. So now I got to see 2 and 3.
Okay.
But definitely, if you get a chance,
Okay,
see
yeah.
the first one
Yeah, I'll look for that.
and just
It always sounded like a neat movie to me. I just never kind of got around to it, I guess. But yeah.
Yeah,
I'll have
I
to
just
see that.
when they announced it, I was like, okay, because
Yeah.
I didn't watch those really when I was growing up. I mean,
Yeah.
I saw Rambo. I think I saw Commando,
Yeah.
and they didn't do a lot for me when I was growing up.
Yeah.
But now looking back, I was like, those were just fun. The
Yeah.
old canon movies and stuff, they
Yeah.
were just fun, and that's what this was.
Yeah.
I mean, it's pretty intense,
Yeah.
but
Okay.
it's good fun. Oh, Dolph Lundgren's in it.
Dolph Lundgren, I like
Yeah.
him.
So-
Dolph Lundgren, who is in real life a literal genius.
Yeah, he's like got doctorates and stuff.
Yeah, he's like super, super smart.
Yeah, and in every movie, he played those.
He's always the dumb,
Same
strong
Dolph
guy.
Lundgren.
Yeah.
But yeah, you hear him talk in real life, and it's like, wow, you're freaking
Yeah.
intelligent.
Yeah.
Stallone sounds like Stallone.
Yeah, he's
Schwarzenegger
still
sounds
him,
like-
yeah.
But yeah, it's great. Love it. So there we go.
There we go.
Movie.
Comfort.
Comfort abounds.
Yes.
So grab yourself a big bowl of stovetop or macaroni
Yeah.
and cheese. Get into some comfy pants.
Yeah.
Grab your favorite quilt
Yeah.
that you may or may not have seen made on a quilting show. And curl up on the couch. Grab one of these, pop them in. Guaranteed to make you feel good, warm
Better.
and fuzzy.
Yeah.
So there we go.
There we go. Thank you for listening, and we will talk to you
Later.
next time.
See ya.
Okay, let's go up here. Now, right up in here, we'll make a happy little cloud. Use just the corner of the brush. And take the corner of that brush and make tiny little circles. Now these, you can make more delicate clouds than we did with a larger brush. Use the other side here. See there? This is where you can make all kinds of little shapes and little fluffy things.